right, so let's take a look. Alrighty, so the lens comes with a lens hood for the camera, and then obviously caps for the front and back. Now the first thing I notice about this lens is it's considerably larger than the Sony 35mm lens, which is what I'm used to using. It's got some very nice glass on here though. Very nice build quality. Has a nice feel to the focus ring. Now this lens does work with autofocus, but you also have the option to manually focus it, obviously. So let's take this lens out for a spin. I'm gonna be doing a few portrait shoots with it and sharing some of the photos that I've taken with the 30mm f1.4. Let's check it out. So let's talk about some of my first impressions of the Sigma 30mm lens. Now I took this lens with me on a recent trip to Toronto and I did a few portrait shoots with it, and I really liked the lens. I felt like it performed very well. First, let's talk about the autofocus. I really expected the autofocus to not be that great considering this is a third-party lens, and so it might not be as compatible as one of the native Sony lenses, but it performed very well. I didn't miss that many shots. There were a few times where it didn't quite nail the focus as well as something like the Sony 35mm lens, but that's to be expected. Now compared with something like the Zeiss 55 lens, which is a Sony lens, this Sigma 30mm lens actually did better with autofocus. Second, let's talk about the sharpness. Now Sigma makes fantastic lenses and this lens is no exception. Honestly, it's one of the sharpest lenses I've used for my Sony a6000 so far, and I've really enjoyed the image quality I was able to get with this lens. So this lens actually turned out to be very good for portraits. It's a little bit wider than the Sony 35mm lens. It kind of falls into a little bit of a weird category because the 35mm lens, it's pretty much a 50. But the 30mm lens, it's more like a 40, 45. So it's kind of a weird focal length, but I did enjoy having a little bit of a wider frame to work with when I was shooting portraits. Overall, I really like this lens. It is kind of heavy, so it does make traveling with this kit a little bit heavier. It makes the camera a little bit bulkier, but overall, I really like the lens. I'm going to be doing some more videos with the Sigma 30mm lens, so I'll be doing a full review of it once I've had a chance to shoot with it some more, and I'll also be comparing it to some of the other lenses in Sony's arsenal, like the 35mm f1.8. If you like these videos, please be sure to subscribe to Dan Bullman Photography for more videos like it. We'll see you soon, folks. This has been another episode of Dan Bullman Photography. Peace! Hey, before you go watch another video, I just wanted to let you know about this free guide that I put together. Now, if you're struggling to pick the right lens for your Sony a6000, I created the free Sony a6000 Lens Picker Guide. Now, you can get this PDF download completely free when you sign up to my email newsletter. I put a link in the description where you can sign up and get this free PDF that shows you how to pick the right lens for your budget and what type of content that you shoot. So check out the link in the description box, put in your email address, and you'll get that sent straight to your inbox.